Welcome back to the Economic Liberation of Africa, where we break down the most critical issues facing Black economic freedom worldwide. Today, we are exposing a major economic battle that's unfolding: CPAC's war against diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how the Microsonic Energy Device could be a game changer in the fight for economic independence. Stick around. This is an episode you don't want to miss. Before we dive in, drop a comment below. Do you think corporations truly support Black economic liberation, or is it all just PR? Let us know. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss an episode that challenges the status quo. With me today is Gary McCants, my co-host on the Economic Liberation of Africa. Gary, the Conservative Political Action Committee, also known as CPAC, has transformed into a global right-wing movement that's not just attacking political opponents, but also targeting DEI initiatives and Black economic power. Why is CPAC so focused on dismantling DEI?
Peter, this is a worldwide initiative. It's historically been going on for some time, quietly. But now with the new administration in Washington, D.C., they have a playbook that they are working from. And globally, some of the leadership, conservative leadership, have attached their strategies and programs to CPAC. And basically what it's doing is undermining every piece of legislation and advancement that Black companies and Black people worldwide have been able to take a step forward. So now we've got to reset, pivot, and determine how we're going to resolve some of these issues, which seems to be a difficult issue, difficult time, but it's also undermining all of the efforts across the country, U.S. and other global nations, where they seem to want to control all the resources, all the money, and everything that seems to point in a direction for Black people globally. And also the rise of Africa. I think that's a part of it. Africa has the youngest population probably in the world. And there's a fear of these corporate companies and also this right-wing leadership that they're going to be displaced. And so those are my thoughts on that.
Thanks so much. If the fight against DEI really is about fairness, or is it? Or is it an attack on Black economic progress? Tell us in the comments. Now let's talk about a technology that could completely disrupt corporate-controlled energy: the Microsonic Energy Device. Gary, what exactly is this device, and why is it such a big deal?
Peter, Microsonic Energy Device is a new technology that generates continuous energy without traditional fuel resources. This is actually a revolutionary shift in energy technology. And some of the implications it has is it decentralizes power for Black communities, is disrupting the fossil fuel monopoly, and it gives Africa control over its own energy resources.
If this technology works as claimed, it could break Africa's dependency on Western energy corporations. But that also makes it a threat to CPAC's backers: big oil, fossil fuel giants, and corporate elites. Would you support a world where Africa controls its own energy destiny? Type power in the chat if you're with us.
Well, Peter, I think one thing is that this microsonic energy device certainly disrupts the status quo in terms of how policy is being made and legislation is being made globally. As you know, America controls the table worldwide. And so this new intervention of this energy source will certainly turn the tables on many of these European powers. And it gives Africa its own independence in terms of controlling its own destiny in terms of the energy that it produces itself, natural resources. But this added innovation, this added technology will be impactful as Africa continues to navigate its way to be globally independent and in energy and not to be dependent on some of these global powers in terms of resources. Peter, a lot of these multinational companies and corporate elites, as we call them, will push back on this. It's about money. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about who's going to control the chessboard. And Western nationals have controlled the economic game for decades. And now that Africa is becoming, having a sense of independence and want to control its own energy and energy resources, this will push back on these European countries as it relates to the money that they're making globally.
Gary, you've talked about how CPAC-backed corporations have kept Africa trapped in a cycle of energy dependence. How does the microsonic energy device challenge that?
Well, the microsonic energy device challenges the status quo, but it also disrupts the revenue and money that these CPAC-backed corporations are making across the globe. And I think it's about time that Africa finds its own independence and is able to control its own destiny in terms of energy resources, which has always been a challenge for Africa. So now that it's becoming a major player in the game, these CPAC-backed companies are threatened, and they're afraid that they're going to lose money. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
And when you say lose money, you mean they are threatened with the loss of trillions of dollars. And Gary, as we speak to our audience, we should just reiterate the fact that the microsonic energy device was discovered, developed, engineered by a native of Zimbabwe,
Okay.
a country in the heart of Africa. And so there's a chance that the control of energy could shift to Africa, which would be a real game changer.
Right.
This is about more than just electricity. This is about who controls the future of the global economy. What do you think? Will African nations unite to take control of their own energy future? Comment yes or no.
Okay.
So what's the next step? How do we turn this technology into a weapon for Black economic liberation?
Well, Peter, I think number one, the entire world needs to get behind this innovation so it can have mass adoption across the board, across all the global economic countries. African governments must get behind this and invest in homegrown energy solutions, Black investors need to fund and manufacture the technology, and people must demand policy changes that protect independent energy solutions for Africa. And so we're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars that will have a shift across the globe and have a major impact for Africa and improve its economic system that will provide all opportunities of innovation, technology, employment, so on and so forth, creating businesses locally as well. So those are some of the things that need to be done.
Okay, and of course, as we highlight these points, we're also urging the verification of this product so that there's no question that it works, and our efforts to take it globally cannot be undermined.
Absolutely.
This is how we break free from neo-colonial corporate control. It's not just about energy, it's about power in every sense of the word. If you believe in Black energy sovereignty, type energy freedom in the comments. This conversation doesn't end here. If we want real economic liberation, we need action. Here's how you can help. Subscribe and turn on notifications. We're exposing the system designed to keep us powerless. Share this video. The world needs to know how energy is the next battleground for Black economic freedom. Support the movement. Join our community for exclusive discussions on how we fight back economically. Gary?
Peter, you're right. This isn't just a YouTube video. It's a movement. We're talking about real economic freedom, but we're also talking about a locals native from Zimbabwe who developed this new technology. And we need to make it happen. We need to give him full support across the globe.
Thank you. Before we go, do you believe Africa can control its own energy future? Drop your thoughts in the comments.